so what we wanted to do today was bring 2 more of those companies. So last week we had 11 Labs and Learn.xyz, and today we have Scale AI, as well as Perplexity, which are 2 companies, like I said, that I'm really bullish on, and I wanted to make sure that our community gets a chance to basically learn about those companies, what they do, and the opportunities. So to kick things off, we're actually going to hand it over to Yuting, who is the Director of Engineering at Scale. She's going to give sort of an overview of the company and the opportunities, and then after that, we'll hand it to Ardash from Perplexity to talk about that as well. So feel free to take it away. We'll probably have a couple hundred people coming in and out, and it's recorded, so we'll get to make sure that this is in front of as many prospective job seekers as possible. So go ahead and take it away.
Sweet. All right. Hello, everyone.
Feel free. You should also see the start share button if you want to screen share like your website or go through anything as well.
Perfect. Okay, let me try to share. Can everyone see this okay?
Yep.
Wait, okay. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Yuting. As Alex introduced, I work at Scale AI. I'm a director of engineering here. I've been with the company for about almost 2 years now. I actually joined to lead new product lines, trying to identify new product line for the company. And then one thing led to another. Generative AI data engine is my current role. And before Scale, I actually worked at Google for 8 years on a lot of consumer-facing product like Google Maps, Google Search, things like that. So today I wanted to run through a really quick presentation, give you a brief intro about Scale AI, what we do, the products, stuff like that. So for context, Scale is founded in 2016 by our CEO, Alexander Wan. And the company is really founded on the premise that AI needs high quality human data. So back in the day, we really made our place when we worked with a lot of the autonomous driving industry and customers to help label high quality data for the self-driving car algorithms. So we're currently at Series E right now, and our headquarters is in San Francisco, though we have remote offices in New York. We actually have, I saw somebody said they're in Hungary. We're actually building our Budapest office as well. And we're currently about 600. I think we're getting closer to like 700 right now. As you can see, investors as well as some of the people that we have. So really quickly, Scale's product line, what do we do? So as I said, Scale started in the AV/CV industry. So we work with a lot of the self-driving customers to really help provide high quality training data for them, as well as make sure those training data actually improve the model's performances. The unit that I work at is called Generative AI Data Engine, and I'll have more slides on that, but it's really to help the foundation model builders to build and improve their LLMs and other type of foundation models. On the other side, we also have a unit that's really focused on the generative AI platform. So how do we help enterprise customer fine-tune the model for their use cases? That has been a really big focus for us. And then Scale Donovan is our solution for the public sector aspect. And let's see. Okay, so I want to talk more about generative AI data engine. So foundation models, or LLMs, I think everyone is familiar with ChatGPT at this point. It really needs human feedback. And the technique that really made ChatGPT very, very good, and as well as some of the other foundation model out on the market, is called reinforcement learning with human feedback. This is where you need experts, you need like really good people to kind of come in and teach the model what is good, what is not good, right? So think about, you have domain expert, like a marine biologist, that come in and see the 2 responses that's generated by the model. Which one is actually better? It's actually extremely hard to do, and it requires a lot of domain expertise. And it has been a huge pain point, backed by a lot of the research paper in this area from OpenAI, Meta, Anthropic. So that's really the where the data needs coming from the generative AI aspect. So Scale's mission is really to accelerate that aspect by providing the generative AI data engine. As I said, we really need domain experts. So how do we find the people who can actually help the model get better? what kind of data does the model need? So that goes back to the test and eval product that we have, right? Like the model is really good at this, but not that. So we wanted to make sure the data curation effort covered those areas. And if you keep feeding the model the same data over and over again, it's actually not going to improve the model's performances at all. So that's a huge focus of what we do. So talked about test eval a little bit. One of the focus is really about like how do we understand the LLM capabilities. So if you have played with LLM before, you know that it can do a broad range of things, which makes evaluating them, assessing them for risks very, very challenging. And we started to see a lot of the red teaming efforts. This is another area that we have a lot of expertise and we're trying to build out as well. So when it comes to the open roles, we are really hiring across the board. So for engineering product design, we're looking for really good ML research engineer, product designer. I think we have product manager roles as well. Software engineering, engineering manager. On the operation side, we're looking for technical program manager, engagement manager, as well as go-to-market. So technical account manager, sales engineer. I believe we have more functions, so I'm gonna send the URL to the group chat in just a minute. That should have all the open roles. With that, I'm gonna hand it back to Alex.
Thank you, Yuting. That was a great and succinct overview of Scale. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning, I think Scale is one of those companies that has the potential to really grow and be one of the key players in this space. So, you know, huge shout out to what you all have been able to build in such a short period of time. And we're really excited for what you guys do next, just because I think there's so much potential now that you have this foundation and with the network of customers you have. I also think one of the things that's really exciting is you guys have reached a scale, no pun intended, to have just a variety of functions. So, you know, obviously I know we have a lot of engineers that tune in, as well as product design, marketing. I was looking at your careers page and portal earlier today, and there's just a huge variety of jobs. So, you know, regardless of what your background is, make sure you check those out because, you know, I think they've hit a point where they really need a lot of different functions, and hopefully we can drive some great leads to you all. So on that note, I know you're obviously very busy. So thank you for spending the time with us, Yuting. We really appreciate it. We'll follow up if there's any questions. But on that note, we'll hand it over to Arash, who's going to talk a little bit about Perplexity, which is the next AI company. Thanks again, Yuting.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me, my hosts, Mike and Alex. Let me share my screen here. Hopefully you can see it. Start the slideshow. So yeah, excited to be sharing what's going on at Perplexity.ai with you all. My name is Arash. I'm sort of the leader of cloud infrastructure here at Perplexity. I've been here for only like 4 or 5 months. The company is only about a year old and some change. And so things have been happening pretty quickly. So here's the agenda. Who are we? What are we building? What are our values? How's it going? And what are the open roles? So here are, you know, 4 of the, you could say, leaders of the company. We had 3 co-founders, and Henry's our awesome design guy. The overall headcount is close to 30. And this is a 3x since I joined in May, which is pretty awesome. A lot of the early employees were mostly ex-Quora, UC Berkeley. We have our HQ in San Francisco and a satellite office in New York. I am actually based in New York myself. So what are we building? We're trying to build the best consumer product for time to come to trustworthy knowledge. And I like this sort of tagline that our CEO made up, the Swiss Army knife of information. So you can just ask like just about anything on Perplexity and we'll give you a pretty cool answer that cites sources back to the internet. And, you know, all kinds of people we can get a lot of value out of this is sort of where we're going here. So on the right here, this is our iPhone app. It's a free iPhone app. I encourage anybody to download and check it out. And we also have a web app, of course, in addition to an Android app. And so these are just, you know, some examples of things you can ask. And we're going more and more into the little bit multimodal, rendering YouTube better and stuff like that as well. And in addition to just that core consumer product, we just last week released this public beta of our API. So we're serving models like Llama and Mistral 7B for the public. And we have a nice blog post that shows that we are faster than a lot of alternatives like Replicate in any scale. And this has been pretty cool. It sort of opens the door for us to not just be a consumer company, but also to like become a platform that other people can build on top of, which I'm pretty excited about. So what are our values? These are sort of the 5 values that, you know, our CEO hammers in. And, you know, of these, I think like truth is so important. And, you know, the entire sort of difficulty with the explosion of generative AI is just, you know, how do you trust what the model says? And if the model says something that you can't really verify, you know, who are you to disagree with this super wise AI? I think there's this analogy about a chess grandmaster, like who is a beginner to say whether the grandmaster's move is right or wrong. And so that's sort of the value I hone in on. But, you know, velocity, we really are pumping things out fast. Like I said, this company did not exist more than a year ago, and we've already gotten to an awesome place where we service like 2 million plus queries a day. We have 200,000 or so daily active users in the United States, and close to 2 million weekly or monthly active users as well. And there's just an emphasis on building a high quality product that people come to, you know, be loyal to. And then, you know, we just value communicating with each other. For things to move quickly, gotta make sure everybody has what they need and the priorities are clear. And ownership wise, I mean, I'm just so like overwhelmingly happy with the amount of ownership I've been able to have and the number of things I've been able to learn in my only 4 to 5 months here. So how's it going? I think this is pretty awesome that ahead of schedule, we were displayed in the New York Stock Exchange just this week. Because of, you know, this Intelligent Applications 40, which we were a part of. This definitely took me by surprise. I thought we were still far away from showing up here, but that's pretty cool. And then I like this slide a lot. So on the left here, you know, we have one of our awesome demographics. We love higher education. I think grad students love us. It's one of the key demographics that we really want to appeal to. And then, you know, we not paid marketing. You know, this is just organic people loving our product and posting on Twitter about it. On the right here, this is my friend who's a grad student who texted me, and I just love to see it. You know, one of the nice things about working on a cool consumer app is that like I get to just share it with everybody in my life and see how they can take advantage of it for whatever, you know, is important to them. My friend here, she's a sociology grad student, and she like loves Perplexity, uses it every day. In the middle here, this is a paper that Google released 3 days ago, and they're using Perplexity as the benchmark of trustworthiness, which is pretty awesome. That we even get that recognition from Google in their research papers. Yeah, okay, and so I can do a little demo here. So here's what I sort of had planned. This is pretty off the cuff, but so like research based on publicly available information, Michael Mara of, you know, this company Join Entre, write a large biography, focus on professional background. And then, so we have the, you know, the Chrome extension where I can just type it in the browser and immediately it starts giving me an awesome response. Oh no, wrong Michael Mara. So yeah, this happens sometimes. There's multiple people with the same name. Sometimes it works better.
Yeah. Just try just Entre instead of Join Entre.
Yeah. Okay, let's try that again. Let's, you know, this is one of the demos that, you know, sometimes.
Yeah, there's a famous Scottish singer named Michael Mara.
Also no good. But let's try another one. Let's so for example, you know, how was Mistral 7B able to outperform, you know, Llama 2 13B despite being a smaller model? I think it's an AI relevant question here. Yeah, you know, I think, you know, I've seen better, but the cool thing is that you can, you know, drill in on sources here, and I can even let's do this. Let's use our Copilot, which is our sort of stronger version of the model that's written by GPT-4 and does a more holistic search of the internet. And I think we'll get a better result this time. Yeah, so now it's talking about actual sort of high architecture decisions. The way that Mistral 7B handles attention is definitely different from Llama. Yeah, so I'm more content with this answer. I think it's substantially better. And you know, what the lovely thing about this is that we're, you know, along the way citing sources of the internet, and this is, I think, you know, what sort of our key thing that we do the best. Like, you know, citing sources on the internet and integrating it to make you feel like you have a better ability to trust what the model is saying and verify it yourself by, you know, okay, well, it seems like we're making this claim based on, you know, citation 5 here, so let's double click on that, right? And anyway, this is free to try. So if you just go to our website, perplexity.ai, try any query you want. There's a lot of things that can happen. Cool. So moving on. Yeah, so open roles. You can find our hiring portal here. And I would say the 4 roles that I would say we're the most hiring for right now would be a web front-end specialist. We need somebody to really lead the function of front end and be opinionated about the right way to do things there. AI research engineer, you know, we're training our own models now, and we could use an extra hand in that process. Search backend, so we're really trying to build a search engine that rivals the quality of Google in-house. And so if you have experience with relevant technologies that you could be an awesome fit for that. And then, you know, there's always room for a product generalist that will help us pump out features more quickly. And if you sort of, you know, you don't fit into one of these categories, you can still send us an email at careers.perplexity.ai and check out the portal there. So I think that does it for my slides.
Amazing. This was a great presentation. And so I have to chime in a little bit because Perplexity is legitimately one of my favorite products. I'm not even exaggerating. If you look, I don't know if everyone can see this. It's literally got the coveted iPhone dock position.
Love to see it.
In my phone. And, you know, I think you touched upon a lot of it there, but you know, some added things. I saw some people in the chat, and feel free to chime in after, Arash, but some of the reasons I personally love it are, yes, you get those citations in line, which is just something that even with like ChatGPT and the interface, it's not as clearly broken out. You have like the native mobile interface. So, you know, if you actually want to have it just on your phone, you can actually do the voice input and just speak it through. And I would just say overall, like, obviously, yes, there's other AI chatbots, but I have not found one that is so consistently pushing out new changes, has such a focus on the user experience. And for that reason, to me, it's at the point where I'm actually putting more time and queries into Perplexity than Google, which I never would have imagined a few years ago would be how I get the leading source of my information. So from a consumer product standpoint, I think it's an awesome and really compelling product. I did see one question too in the chat, Arash, which was basically, you know, a little bit about like where you all are based and those opportunities. So I think you guys are San Francisco, but I just wanted to double check what that is like.
Yeah, I think I mentioned in the first slide, but yes, San Francisco is the headquarters. We have a satellite office in New York. There's a bit of people sprinkled around remote as well. And yeah, love to hear the sort of consumer testimony there, Alex. Thank you. So perhaps unsurprisingly, we hear testimonies like that a lot, where people like really love our product and have the loyalty. And I think that's sort of like the crucial thing for this sort of new wave of generative AI startups is like, will you actually win the customer loyalty to, you know, make it beyond just like the 1 to 2 year mark and to have the longevity? And the signal there is super positive for us.
Yeah, 100%. I think, you know, you guys are just one of those companies where, like, I think similar to Scale AI, you're just going after such a massive space that if you guys can pull it off, it's going to be just tremendous upside for everyone involved. So if you fit into any of those job descriptions with your background, I would highly recommend everyone check out Perplexity if you get the chance. I think, Arash, I'll put the link to your jobs page there. Feel free to drop anything else relevant in there. And then if you want to shoot me an email after, we'll make sure to plug it in all of the career newsletters just to make sure that, you know, we get it to the widest audience possible. But on that note, I just want to say thanks again for coming by. I was so excited that we land Perplexity just because I have an affinity. Obviously, I'm very impressed by Scale AI as well. I think they have more of like an enterprise focus, so I appreciate their business, but getting to have you come talk about what I think is a great product, and I hope everyone takes the time to use on the consumer side, was super, super compelling as well. So we thank you for your time. And I think on that note, I'm going to hand it back to Michael. I'm not sure if Jarrett or anyone else wanted to say anything else. If not, I have the presentation, but I want to make sure we get to everyone if we had any other products to talk about or roles before I jump into the slide deck.
Yeah, this is Jared here. I invited Fintology Technologies on stage, the founder, CEO of Fintology AI, who's also the founder of Octoply AI as well. And for a lot of you job seekers, Octoply AI is something that's very relevant to you, but they are hiring. So I know Tori doesn't have much time, so I'm going to pass the mic to him so we can share some of the roles that he's looking for. And then I'll also share some resources as well. So yeah, Tori, you got it.
Beautiful. I want to thank you guys once again for having me on, and good afternoon, good night, and good evening for those who may be in various sectors of the nation and or world. Nonetheless, I'll be very light and prompt with this, but I have Fintology Technologies, which is an AI-engineered, AI-powered funding solution. It finds consumers' capital beyond their credit score on a regional level, national level, and also local level. We are currently hiring for SDRs and also account executives. We recently just acquired a VP of sales. We are still open to having a fractional sales president or VP of sales, sorry. And if you guys are interested in seeking a career, you can visit our main website, which is fintology.ai, to learn more about our product. And in regards to actually sending over any resumes that may be applicable for the job positions, you can send that to info@fintology.ai. And then over to the other product, which is Octoply.ai. It is a AI-powered tool that allows you to upload your resume. It refines your resume and tailors your resume based on the job positioning that you're looking for, and also applies for up to 300 jobs a month. So it's a great tool, very revolutionary, very basic tool in its sense. We're in its nature, but it's a very useful tool to assist those that are, seeking a job in the professional career field, whether that's tech, whether that's clerical, whether that's educational. If you're looking for that, mid-figure, mid-six-figure, low six-figure, high six-figure, whatever they may be, Octoply is a great tool to use. And you can visit that website at octoply.ai. And once again, for the funding software, that would be Fintology.ai. So Fintology.ai.
All right, perfect. And yeah, if you've ever tried to break into tech in your first go round, it typically takes like 50 to 100 to 200 to 300 applications. So having AI customize your resume and mass apply to these roles is going to save you time and also get you in front of more recruiters and hiring managers. So I'm really excited to offer that product to Entre. And then, Michael, I've been talking to you. We want to get it on the marketplace. So let's have a side conversation about some sort of special discount we can provide to the Entre community. And then I'm going to be pretty brief in terms of my resource. Basically, I'm throwing in the chat right now. I have a free community called Tech Careers, where I post open tech roles, free resources, free events, and funding resources daily. If you go to the tech resources section, you'll see a free cybersecurity bootcamp and a free UI UX bootcamp. And that's just like tip of the iceberg and what I post over there. For those that don't know me, I've been in tech since 2006. During the pandemic, organically built out a brand where I was helping people break into tech, throwing recruiters on stage, and people were getting hired. We took that format over to Entre, and it's been a really dope partnership ever since. So yeah, definitely check out the Tech Careers community, and also plug for Michael. Go to Product Hunt and upvote the AI offering.
I was just about to.
Yeah,
no,
it's always helpful when more people are saying it besides you. So I just wanted to throw that out there. It's in the chat, and I'll pass it to Mike so he can talk a little bit more about what's happening and why it's important.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Jared. And yeah, Jared's dropping basically resources in tech, AI, a lot of career advice, accelerators, events, all sorts of stuff, basically every day. I think I get a notification on like a new thing all the time. It's a great way to stay up to date with stuff. And his community's awesome. He's doing his podcast here as well. I think do you have a live stream going on right after this, or what time is that?
Yeah, so it's scheduled for 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be doing a live podcast. So I have a podcast called Big Tech Energy. I'll put the YouTube channel in the chat. But I'm doing live interviews weekly on Entre. And this week, we're going to be interviewing the founder of Techsgiving. It's an organization which is giving back to the tech community and also giving back to folks that want to get into the tech community. So they have a event happening in Washington, D.C., December 6th to the 9th. That I'll be speaking at, and it's going to be really, really powerful. And I'm going to be interviewing him about how he got to a senior technical product manager role at Google, and what advice he has for people that are trying to get into Google or become product managers, technical product managers, senior technical product managers. And then also what was his motivation behind Techsgiving? What is it about? How can people get involved? This is going to be my first conversation actually picking his brain about it. I've known him casually, but I've never been able to really ask those questions. So I'm going to save those questions for everybody here. So 6 p.m. Eastern time, I'll throw the link in the chat at the end of the room, just so that it doesn't disrupt this room. But ultimately, it's going to be a dope conversation. We'll record it, and we'll also put it on YouTube. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening at 6 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, we should be finishing up right around then. I know Alex has a lot of stuff going on, so I don't know if we'll go too much over like the hour. So that will be great. And yeah, we'll be happening live right here on Entre. So if you just go back, if you minimize the room or click the home button, you'll be able to see all the other live streams and events happening right at the top of the home feed. And that's where you'll be able to see Jared's live stream and event there. But yeah, if you guys can, we really love the support with the launch of AI headshots. Go over to Product Hunt, upvote us. Get your headshot. Let us know if you guys don't like it. Let us know, and then we can get you another batch of headshots for free too. So that we want people to have a good headshot, right? We want people to enjoy it and like the headshot in their new photo. But yeah, it's something that we're going to continue to improve and get better. And we're also doing a discount for teams. So if you most of you are obviously job seekers. So but if you do have a team out there and you want headshots for multiple people, we do discounts for that as well. But yeah, with that being said, let's pass it back over to Alex. I know you put together a little presentation just going through some of the updates and new things going on with the AI industry as a whole. And yeah, if anyone has any questions about Entre, new things happening or what's going on, feel free to just shoot me a DM here and reach out if there's anything that we can do to help you guys out. But Alex, you can kind of take it back over, man.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. So I'll drop a link, by the way, to the newsletter. As a reminder, that's a free AI newsletter we send out a couple times a week. It's a great way to keep up with all of the latest events, fundraising news, product launches in the AI space. And as part of these career fairs, I like to pick a different topic to sort of end on with sort of a short overview. Last career fair, we talked about basically how can we use AI tools to actually supercharge your job search. And today what I wanted to do is actually talk a little bit more about the actual landscape of the AI industry, because I think a lot of people are hearing that there's all this opportunity, but they don't necessarily know where to direct that attention to and what are the most promising companies. So I put together a short presentation that I hope you all will enjoy. So just want to confirm, can you see my screen? We good to go? Okay, cool.
I was on mute.
Cool. Oh, good. So I'll just keep it brief on me, but like I said, I run Big Brain now, which is the largest AI careers community. Previously, I did product at LinkedIn and Intuit. And I've also, put a lot of time and energy into thinking about how I can help people advance their careers. And so, this is an area that I've been focusing on more because I think AI is really about to transform our entire economy. And this was one of the slides that I included from the last AI career fair. And it basically makes the simple point that it's a great time to join an AI company. So let's try to quantify that. Just to give you a few numbers, by 2025, they expect about 85 million jobs to be replaced by AI. And I know this can sound really scary when people hear it at first, but if you think about all previous waves of technology, there's initially this point of fear that, it's going to basically ruin society and all these people will be out of jobs and they have to fight the resistance. But the reality is that it often creates many more jobs and opportunity than was originally there. So, to kind of counteract that 85 million replaced, there's actually going to be 97 million jobs created and around 390 billion in global AI market size. And that's only in the next couple of years. And I also think, I've been pointing a lot of people to AI because I think there's right now this huge rift between the general tech industry and AI. So if you look at the bottom left corner here, the reality is that it's actually been kind of some rough sailing for a lot of the tech companies. We've seen with interest rates being higher that a lot of the companies are really starting to pull back with how much they're spending on recruiting. And, unfortunately, there's been many people that have actually lost jobs over the past 2 years. But if you actually look to the other side of it, one of the shining areas sort of our economy has been around AI. So, there's billions of dollars being poured into new AI startups now. A lot of the established companies are actually doubling down on their AI efforts. And so for this reason, I encourage a lot of people to actually start to hone more of their attention into this sector of the economy because they have an opportunity to basically ride a wave of the AI revolution right now. Now, with all this being said, I think it's also important to note that value capture will not be evenly distributed. So today we actually want to look at 3 main categories of AI companies, which I think have high potential to capture a lot of the value moving forward and are areas that you should actually target with your job search into the AI space. So first, we're going to talk about big tech. A lot of these names will sound familiar to you, and I'll kind of break down a few of the big tech companies' sort of strategies with AI. The second are venture-backed AI companies. So these are the companies like Scale AI and like Perplexity that have really burst onto the scene and are having an opportunity to maybe even become one of those leading companies in the world in the future. And then lastly, I want to talk a little bit about this sort of thread the needle moment right now where you can actually build a very large and valuable company with relatively few people using AI. So let's start with big tech. And I put big tech dominance here because the reality is that in many ways, AI appears to be a centralizing technology at this point in time. So in previous technology waves, what we saw was that value was siphoned away from the incumbents to the startups. And the early signs of AI suggest that it's actually initially accruing more value to the big tech companies. So I put a screenshot here of the 10 largest companies in the world by market cap. And what you'll see here is that 6 out of these 10 are some of the most leading players in AI. So whether that's Apple and Microsoft, Google and Amazon, NVIDIA, Meta, and even Tesla, these companies are actually getting much more valuable because of the fact that they are at the front of the AI race. And I kind of wanted to discuss how these different tech companies are actually positioning themselves to capitalize on this AI wave moving forward. So the first one that I think is really interesting is Microsoft. So, obviously Microsoft has been one of the most valuable companies in the world for decades. And with their CEO, Satya Nadella, they've really led a great turnaround. But they've made a few strategic moves that I think really position them well. So not many people know this, or maybe some do, but they actually own 50% of OpenAI. They ended up acquiring about half of its equity in a strategic partnership at the beginning of this year, which is really important because for OpenAI, that gives them access to the capital and sort of the training data they need to grow. And this training data is massive. This is a huge part of what makes these LLMs so valuable. So Microsoft owns LinkedIn, so it's a ton of posts they can use. They own the whole Office suite. They have really sticky apps that they're now beginning to integrate AI into. So now you can, like, say, do AI generated PowerPoints or AI generated emails. They have a really great position in cloud computing and storage with Azure. And then they obviously have tons of cash on their balance sheet. So Microsoft is definitely a company to keep an eye on. Kind of shifting gears a little bit and going a little bit lower in the tech stack, I think NVIDIA in many ways has been the biggest winner on paper from the AI wave. So there's a saying, you know, when there's a gold rush, you want to be selling shovels. And in this case, the shovels for AI are the actual chips. So it is very computationally intensive to run a lot of these AI applications. And NVIDIA, as the #1 hardware manufacturer for these AI chips, has been really well positioned. So, you know, they not only have their hardware products, but they also have a software stack, a developer program, and a lot of basically cloud-based machine learning and AI tools that they're rolling out now. So this is another great company. They've entered the $1 trillion company category, which is really important. So again, when we talk about companies sort of cutting back here, I think companies like Microsoft and NVIDIA sort of buck that trend in the big tech space because they're actually doubling down on their AI spaces. And the last one, this is kind of just a fun one, but I almost feel like Elon Musk needs his own slide here because so many of his companies are well positioned for AI. So this is a fun fact for a lot of you out there, but Elon Musk is actually one of the original co-founders of OpenAI, and they ended up having a split at some point with disagreements of how it rolled out, but he actually was one of the first people working on it, and he's since gone on to launch X.AI, which is basically their AI research company. I'm sure they'll come out with a product. They have a ton of historical data from Twitter. But outside of just X, you look at what they're doing with their cars, they have basically the leading self-driving tech. So you can basically, at this point, basically have your Tesla drive you around an entire city. And I think we're really quickly reaching a point where we'll have fully autonomous vehicles. So, you know, again, it's worth noting and keeping an eye on these companies that have huge wins at their back because of AI. And it's something that, you know, is worth considering if you want to go to an established player. But I also think it's fun to look at the companies that are disrupting these big players, or who has the opportunity to be the next Google, to be the next Facebook moving forward because of this disruption. And so we kind of talked about this in the last AI career presentation, but money is absolutely pouring in really large amounts while people, namely investors, seek the next big players. And what this means for you is a lot of these companies are actively hiring. And I put this quote from Sheryl Sandberg about finding an AI rocket ship. It's not necessarily, you know, finding the perfect role or the perfect team, but if you genuinely believe in a product and its potential, then it can be a very good idea to get in there any way you can and continue to grow with that company. And so I think when you're trying to decide what are the types of companies you should go to, you should really go to first principles and try to figure out what are they actually trying to disrupt. So, you know, in the case of Perplexity and other competitors, this is really about information. And to put it into context, the global search industry is about $250 billion plus annually. Similarly, media is another area that can be disrupted with AI, with new tools rolling out from Midjourney, Runway, Jasper, that allow you to create AI-generated videos, images, text, with really just a couple short prompts. And there's been a lot of talk. I know the writer's strike just ended, and there was a lot of contention around AI, but I firmly believe that media is about to be fundamentally altered forever. And if you look at Hollywood, not only is it extremely influential around the world, but it's a $90 billion industry. And lastly, you have areas like finance or healthcare. These are industries that are in the trillions, and suddenly you now have companies that are entering that can actually take market position because they can do things that weren't even possible before. And then there's these new opportunities that pop up as part of this AI wave. So we heard Yuting talk a little bit about how a lot of the companies want to actually run these models, but they need clean data. So you need to actually have a way to build up operations that allow you to cleanly label and categorize this data at scale. There's an opportunity for large language models. So Hugging Face is an example of a company which does open source LLMs. And then I think we're going to see some major innovation in the hardware space. So on the right is an actual AI pin from a company called Humane. And so they're rolling out their AI pin soon. And then it was recently announced that Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, is teaming up with Johnny Ives, who's the lead designer that helped design the iPhone. And they're launching an AI-first phone. They already have $1 billion in backing for SoftBank. So these are the areas that are net new, where in the previous slide, we're talking a lot about how do you go into areas that we know are a lot of money. These are a little bit more new things that weren't even around a few years ago. So exciting opportunities here for sure. And then just kind of on the last point, I figured it'd be fun just to also point out how much potential there is, to actually start something on your own. So in my eyes, AI equals leverage. With AI, people can now actually create companies that are worth a ton of value with much smaller teams. And we're already seeing this with a lot of the AI startups. And you have 1 to 3 person teams out there that are already doing 8 figures in revenue. On the right, you actually see a revenue graph for Lensa AI. I know a lot of you saw basically the AI generated profile pictures that were like going viral on Instagram. That company Lensa did, about 38 million with a couple of employees. And so, it's also worth checking out, okay, what are different ideas, or can you basically join one of these smaller shops where you have a very high value per employee? And there's even AI tools that can help you do this. I like this one, stratup.ai, which basically allows you to basically put in a category and it'll generate problems and things it sees in business, basically business plans for that. So highly recommend people to do this. And just to kind of close off here with the key takeaways, don't fight, the momentum. There's an opportunity, I think, to ride the AI wave and to join some of the most influential, important companies of the coming, not just decade, but century. There's more than one way to enter, though. A lot of the big tech companies are hiring for their AI for their AI business units. So if you're more comfortable in the big company space, you can check them out. Or you can go to one of these venture-backed startups. So we saw 2 today, Scale AI, Perplexity, that are growing really fast and give you an opportunity to have a ton of scope very quickly. Or you can even start something of your own with a small group of people and grow in value really quickly. And then obviously I have a link here, but you should be using AI to accelerate your job search. And this will link to the previous presentation, which basically talks about some of those tools. So on that note, I always end with this, but remember, AI is here to enhance, not replace. It has an opportunity to build businesses and unlock value that we wouldn't have dreamed of years ago. And I highly encourage you all to take this outlook as well as you go throughout the process. And on that note, I appreciate you all taking some time to listen to my presentation on this. You can follow along for more AI news if you enjoyed this at bigbraindaily.com. And yes, I think that pretty much covers most of the content for today. But yeah, Michael, just want to hand it back to you for any final thoughts you have. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to leave it in the chat.
Appreciate it, Alex. Yeah, that was a great rundown, man. I think obviously, there's so much growth going on in AI right now. So looking forward to continue doing these. Every month, celebrating new AI companies and highlighting their opportunities and roles for everybody. If you want to drop the link to your newsletter one more time, Alex, how many times do you send it every day, or is it like 3 or 4 times a week? How often?
We've changed it up to thrice weekly just because I think people are getting a little fatigued with the daily stuff. So it's 3 times a week. It's 3 to 4 minutes. It's meant to be very easily digestible. So that, it's easy to keep up and on top of the AI space, because it's just changing so quickly right now that, having the ability to keep up with some of these basic updates, we feel like is very valuable. We also send out occasional deep dives on companies. I think we've done a write-up on Perplexity and Scale AI, both of them before this. So, it's a good chance to see about these companies in advance and sort of get an edge if you know where the space is going.
Perfect. Yep. I think, I mean, it's one of the best out there, man. You're doing a great job with it. And I think I'm going to have Sean, if he can, I don't know if I think he's just in the audience. If you can drop all the links to the, there it is. If you can drop all the links to the companies one more time, Perplexity, Scale, the newsletter, Fintology, Octoply, and then I think that was all of them. But yeah, you can drop all those links to the company's sites so that people can apply for those roles. We definitely want to get some of those roles just like highlighted here on Entre. I think it'd be great so people can just apply live. But you know, it's tricky for people to post roles and stuff before the events. And I know a lot of these companies are super busy. But yeah, I think that was pretty much it. I know Jared is going to be hosting his live stream right after this. So what we'll do is, Alex, if you don't have anything else, what we'll do is we'll just share that real quick and then wrap this up and kickstart his room here for people to check out and learn more about text giving.
Yeah, yep. So for everybody that's in here, we'd love for you to join us in the next room. So what I'm going to do is, as Io just kind of introduces himself and gives you a preview of the conversation we'll be having, I'll be opening up the room in the hallway. So if you just minimize this room and then you'll see my room at the top, just go ahead and hop in there. And if you're interested in learning about how to break into Google, you know, how to become a technical product manager, and then what text giving is and how it can be beneficial to you, and how he started an organization like this, if that's something you're looking to do. I'm going to get him to drop the gems, and it's going to be a really dope conversation. So we'd love to have you over there. So with that being said, I will let Io introduce himself, and I'm going to open up the room now so you guys can trickle in as Io completes his intro.
Thank you guys for having me, man. I was loving the conversation that was happening before as well, too. It was a perfect segue to what we're doing at Text Giving, leveraging a lot of AI for careers as well, too. So I'll start off with the introduction about myself. I'm Io Duyele. I'm a senior technical product manager at Google, also an adjunct professor at Temple University teaching product management as well, too. So have a ton of experience helping people break into product management and tech in general as well, too. And what we're going to talk about is text giving and our summit, how we're leveraging AI to enhance people's career journeys and make it that much more efficient, similar to what we were talking about before as well there too. So excited to connect with all of you guys as well too. Hopefully you guys can stay around and join me in the next room. It's going to be exciting conversation. And you know, you guys will have the chance to just ask me anything about Google, ask me anything about AI, ask me anything about doing this all while being a professor as well there too. So excited to connect with you all, and I'll see you guys in the next room.
Fantastic. Appreciate it. Looks like Jarrett has it open. So we'll drop the link. Let me just grab this real quick. I'll drop the link. I'll put this here in the room chat. But yeah, it's gonna be great. You'll get a chance to, that will be more, I feel like personal, and you'll be able to ask some questions and stuff. And it'll be an exciting conversation. Jarrett's a great interviewer, so looking forward to it. Thanks for popping in here too, by the way.
Man, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks so much. There's the room link. If you click that, or if you also just minimize this room, you'll see the event right at the top of the feed. But you can just click that link there in the room chat. You'll pop over. Alex, someone is asking about the slides. I don't know if you want to send the slides. We will be sharing the recording of this event, so you'll see them there.
I posted it in there.
Okay,
it might have got buried a little bit up, but yeah, I can repost it here. So yeah, I did. I shared it in there. It looks like there's like about 13 or 14 people in here, but I can try to repost it. But yeah, that's definitely, I might clean it up a little bit, but feel free to take a look at it. I know it has some of the tools and the companies we mentioned, so hopefully it's valuable to some of you.
Got it. Sweet. And then, yeah, Sean did, if you guys scroll up a little bit, he did post all the links there to the companies hiring too. And then, yeah, there's the docs. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, if you guys need anything else, feel free to let us know. please, again, if you guys can upvote us on Product Hunt, that means a lot. Get your AI headshot, and tune into Jared's live stream going on right after this. But appreciate it, Alex. Another great event, man, and we'll stay tuned for the next one. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks again, Michael.
Great week, everybody. Cheers. See you soon.